Welcome to my new video. Now we are going to calculate the average rate of return of a portfolio and the risk, that is the standard deviation of a portfolio based on historical data. So as the data sheet is in front of you, it is the same data that I have used to calculate the standard deviation and average rate of return for individual securities. So I'll use the same securities as security A and B, and based on it we will calculate the average rate of return of the portfolio and then its standard deviation. Now, by definition, portfolio is a combination of two or more than two different securities having different risk and return characteristics. So in this case we are taking the two different securities, so we are taking only two asset portfolio. The portfolio can be of 3 assets, 4 assets, and more than that as well, but we are taking 2 assets for the time being for the simple calculations, and then we can increase the number of securities later on. But the current video is only for 2 asset portfolio. So first we need to calculate the that how the average rate of return of a portfolio can be calculated. So the first thing you need to know is that when there are two securities, so how much of your total value will be invested. Let's say you have a certain amount to invest in security A and B. So what is the combination of the investment in the weightage? We call it as the weightage. So the formula, let's write the formula for the average rate of return of a portfolio. So let me just put K and P for the portfolio and the average, that is the average rate of return of a portfolio. What is the formula for it? The formula is the summation. So I'll select again from the symbol. Summation WI KI average. That is the formula. Now what does it mean? It means that we have to take the weighted average of the individual securities return. So then it will be equal to the average rate of return of the portfolio. So in this case, if I want to calculate it here, so we need to assume the weightages first. So let's assume that the weightage for A security, so I'll put WA equal to, let's say, 40%, and it means WB will be equal to 60%. These are assumed values, and you can take different combination. You know, a portfolio can be 50-50% equally distributed, it can be 70-30, 30-70, and so on. So we are assuming 40% of the investment in A security and 60% investment in B security. So what will be the average rate of return of the portfolio in this case? So KP average will be equal to WA, so I put the equal sign, WA into multiply by the average rate of return of A security, and that is 11%. We have calculated it already, and plus the weightage of B security multiply by its average rate of return, that is 14%. So that is 12.8% is the average rate of return of the portfolio. So if you, for example, if you hold a portfolio of A and B security in the last 5 years, so your average rate of return would have been 12.8%, based on that you have invested 40% in A and 60% in B. So this is how we calculate the average rate of return. So if you increase the number of securities in a portfolio, so you can add the weightage. Let's say if there are 3 securities, so there, let's say we invest 30% in A security, 30% in B security, and 40% in C security. So then it will be the weighted average of those 3 securities. It can be 4 or 5 securities, and then the weightage. So the sum of the weightage is equal to 1, or you can say 100%. Now the next step is to calculate the risk. You can see that the average rate of return of the portfolio is between security A and security B. So it means it's higher than the 11%, but it's lower than the 14%. And you know, the value can be closer to 14%, or the value can be closer to 11%, depending on the weightage. So if we invest more in B security, the value will be closer to 14%. If we invest more in A security, the value will be closer to 11%, that is to the A security. For the risk, so first we need to say the variance of a portfolio. So for a variance of the portfolio, I just copy and paste it here. I'll merge it and I'll put it here, Control V. Okay, and I'll take the value, Control C, I'll put it, Control V, and since we want to calculate it for the portfolio, so I'll put portfolio, the variance of the portfolio. The formula for the variance of the portfolio is very simple, it's not very difficult. That is, so we are taking A and B security, so I can use A security and B security. That is equal to WA square and sigma A square. Control C, WA square sigma A square, multiply by sigma A square, obviously. Plus WB square sigma B square, multiply by sigma B square. I'll replace it with B, plus 2 WA WB sigma A sigma B, so I'll replace it with B, and R A B. R is the correlation of security A with security B. So that is the formula for the variance of the portfolio, and obviously for the standard deviation we can take a square root of this. Now in this formula what we know is we already know the weightage of A, which is given here, that is 40%. Sigma A square, we already know it from the previous calculation, that is sigma A square is 104, or you can take the square value of 10.2. We also know WB square, because we know WB and we can take a square value of it, and we also know sigma B square, that is calculated here. We also know 2 and WA, WB, sigma A and sigma B, but what is the difference? The unknown value, that is RAB, which is the correlation of the correlation between the returns of security A and security B in the last 5 years. So that is what we call as correlation. So how we can calculate correlation? I mean, this is the unknown, so we have to calculate it. So RAB is equal to what? RAB, correlation between security A and security B, is equal to what? It's equal to covariance. So remember, it's not coefficient of variation, it's covariance of A and B, covariance of A and B divided by the standard deviation of A mean sigma A and sigma B, standard deviation of B. Now this is how we can calculate the correlation between security A and security B. Now the problem is that in this formula we know sigma A, sigma B, but what we don't know is the covariance of A and B. So now we have to calculate covariance of A and B. So covariance of A and B, formula for the covariance of A and B is equal to, so I'll put it here, covariance of A and B, and for that the formula is for the historical data. Remember, for the expected data we will do it in the next video. For the historical data, the covariance between A and B is equal to KA minus KA average into KB minus KB average, and then divided by n. N is the number of observations, in this case the number of years. So now if we look to this formula, what we know is, let me just put so that it should be easy to understand, put the brackets. So now looking to this formula, what we know is, we know KA minus KA average. Yes, it is calculated. There is KA minus KA average, it is already here, and multiply by KB minus KB average, and that is calculated here, KB minus KB average. So what we can do is, now we can calculate a product of it. So if I just simply copy these, and what about the control C, this let me put the sum to it as well. That is, let me put this values first here, so that then we can calculate it. And here it is actually, we need the sum value. So from the symbols I'll put the sum. So first we need to calculate the sum, and then dividing that sum by the number of observation. So here it is so easy to do it. I'll reduce the size so that it is visible. Okay, so in Excel I can do it easily, but with calculators or manual calculation, what you need to do is, you need to multiply the differences of A with its average and B with its average. So this is how we can do it. This multiply by this value, and again, as we already know, so we can drag these values, we'll get it, all the 5 values. So 1 into 14 is 14. The second difference was 14 into minus 2, so minus 28. 5 into 2 is 10. Minus 17 into 8, 136, minus 136, and then minus 3 into minus 22 is 66. So, and we need to calculate the sum. So for the auto sum, I can calculate the sum of these values. So this is what I got the value of, the value up to this level. And now what I need to do is, I need to calculate the covariance, and for covariance I need to divide that value by 5. So this will be covariance, it will be equal to this, divided by 5 because we have 5 years data. So that is what you get, that is the covariance. Covariance is minus 14.8. So minus 14.8 is the covariance between security A and security B. From this, what we can do is, now we can calculate the correlation between these two securities. And for correlation, what we need to do is, we need to divide the covariance of A and B with the standard deviation of A and standard deviation of B. So for this, the next calculation will be, so I'm not writing it here, you know, the symbols are not being written here, but this calculation will be the correlation coefficient between security A and security B, and that will be equal to this value divided by standard deviation of A, which is 10.2, multiplied by standard deviation of B. But remember, when I put the bracket, so it means these two values will divide of minus 14.8. so first these two will multiply with each other, and then the whole value will be divided by the product of it. So when I say it's equal to this, so it means the correlation coefficient is minus 0.12. again, it's up to 2 decimal places. You can increase the number of decimals from here. You can increase the number of decimals, you can reduce it, but if we keep it up to 2 decimal places, it's minus 0.12. Remember, the correlation between two securities can vary from -1 to +1. -1 mean that when two securities are perfectly negatively correlated, which means that if the return of one security increases by a given amount, that is, let's say 2% or 3%, the return on the second security decreases by the same magnitude, mean 2% or 3%. So it means the magnitude is the same, but they are in the opposite direction. So in that case, the correlation coefficient is -1. On the other hand, +1, it says that the two securities are perfectly positively correlated, which means that they move in the same direction with the same magnitude, which means that if the return on one security increases by 2%, the return on the second security also increases by the same percentage, that is 2%. So they move in the same direction and with the same magnitude. While with -1, it means that the magnitude is the same, but they are in the opposite direction. If the correlation coefficient is equal to 0, so it means that the two securities are statistically independent. It means that they have no statistical correlation with each other. In our case, the -0.12 means that when the return on one security increases by 1%, the return on the second security decreases by 0.12%. decreases mean the negative sign shows that they move in the opposite direction. It also means that if the return on the first security decreases by 1%, it means the return on the second security increases by 0.12%. That is the correlation coefficient. So once we got this value as well, so now we can calculate the standard deviation of the portfolio. So first we will calculate the variance, and then we will calculate the standard deviation. So for the variance, now we can use the formula, that is WA square. So I'll use the equal sign, and then starting with, that is the first value, the square value of it. So I'll multiply it twice, so you will get this square value, this multiply by this again, and then obviously multiply by the standard deviation. So we need to multiply the standard deviation twice as well, or we can take the variance value, but I use the standard deviation because sometimes you are only given the standard deviation, so you need to know that we need to use the square value of the standard deviation. So I'll do it twice, this, and then multiply again with the same value. Let's do it quickly. Plus the WB square, so again 2 times, and multiply by the standard deviation of B security. So we multiply it by the 12.26 twice, plus 2 with the formula, and then multiply this 0.4 into weightage of the B security 0.6 into sigma A, that is 10.2, into sigma B, that is 12.26, and into the last thing, that is the correlation coefficient, and the correlation coefficient is minus 0.12. And once I'll enter it, I'll get the variance of the portfolio, that is variance of the portfolio. So this is the variance of the portfolio. And the standard deviation, it's very simple. Standard deviation of the portfolio, that is sigma P. That will be equal to square root, we already know this, square root of this value, and we enter it, we'll get 7.98 plus minus, as we discussed already, that once the value is we take a square root of any value, so then the value, the answer is both in plus minus. So it means the standard deviation of the portfolio is 7.98%. Now let's have a recap. The average rate of return of A security is 11%. The average rate of return of B security is 14%, while the average rate of return of this portfolio, remember that weightages, when you change the weightage, the average rate of return can change. For this particular portfolio, where there is 40% of the amount invested in A security and 60% is invested in B security, the average rate of return is 12.8%. So whether security A is better, security B is better, or portfolio is better. So you'll say purely based on return alone, security B is better, because 14% is higher than 11% as well as from 12.8%. On the other hand, if we make the selection based on risk alone, so the standard deviation, let's say standard deviation, we are assuming initially standard deviation, the standard deviation of security A is 10.2% plus minus, the standard deviation of B security is 12.26%, while the standard deviation of the portfolio is 7.98% plus minus. So the portfolio has a lower standard deviation, as compared to security A and security B. Now again, portfolio is better based on risk, security B is better based on return alone. So again, we need to calculate the coefficient of variation. So we have to calculate the coefficient of variation of the portfolio. So the coefficient of variation of the portfolio will be equal to what? Equal to the standard deviation of the portfolio divided by the average rate of return of the portfolio, which is 12.8, and the answer is 0.62. So when we compare the coefficient of variation of security A, security B and the portfolio is much better as compared to security A and B alone, because the coefficient of variation of security A is 0.93, the coefficient of variation of security B is 0.88, while the coefficient of variation for the portfolio is 0.62, and we prefer lower standard coefficient of variation, so it is lower among the three. Therefore holding a portfolio is a better option as compared to holding security A alone or security B alone. This is how we calculate the standard deviation and the average rate of return of a portfolio based on historical data. So I hope we got the answer, and if you want to we will calculate the standard deviation and the expected rate of return of a portfolio for the expected returns in the next video. Thank you so much. I hope you understand up till now.